When people say they were born and raised in a certain city or neighborhood, they typically say it with a sense of pride. However, for me, being born and raised in the 18th Congressional District brings so much more than pride. It brings about a sense of identity, familiarity, and deep passion. I grew up in a multiracial family in Third Ward of Houston. Not only did I grow up in the historical Third Ward, but my family has lived in the area for 3 generations. My paternal grandparents were both deeply involved in the local civil rights movement. My grandfather was a physician in the district, and my grandmother served on the board of the United Negro College Fund. I am a proud public school educator in the Houston Independent School District and have taught at Title I schools for each of my 8 years in education. As a product of the Houston Independent School District, I have witnessed the discrepancies in the public school system. Also, my experiences growing up in this area of Houston have made me the person I am today. They have inspired me to become an educator in Title I schools so I can help communities who are in need the most. It is my responsibility to meet the academic and social needs of all students as a former teacher and now current assistant principal. Over the years, I have worked with students and community members who are faced with homelessness, mental health issues, and who are at risk of dropping out of school. The differences in services between the areas of Houston were always apparent as I was growing up. But now that I have seen these issues firsthand as an adult, I feel even more compelled to fight for change for those who have been overlooked for far too long. Furthermore, my past experiences, the work I have done over the past 8 years, including advocating for highway reform and environmental justice, have inspired me to run for Congress. My intention of running for Congress is to serve those who are in need the most. I am running to ensure that all students have access to quality education and teachers receive the adequate resources and the pay that is needed to effectively teach their students. I am running because I know what it's like to have to play financial checkers with your paycheck. I am running because I've had to choose between adding my daughter to my health insurance plan and paying student loans. I know what it's like to stay up late with your spouse asking yourself, how are we going to pay for college when she graduates from high school because the rising cost of tuition has become unaffordable for the average person in this country? I am running because I represent a generation that knows what it's like to have graduated from college during the middle of a financial crisis, high unemployment rates, and rising student loan debt. I am running for Congress to give my generation and future generations a voice so they can live their lives without all of these burdens. I plan on accomplishing this by engaging with all voters and working with all community members to create a better future for CD18. Within the past few years, we have had several D and F-rated Dems join the Progressive Caucus. In addition to having members with progressive punch scores of D or F, I find it deeply concerning that members such as Sheila Jackson Lee, as one of the vice chairs of the Progressive Caucus, has received a progressive punch score of a C. This is another example of an establishment member and corporate Democrat who has long ties with corporate donors such as Goldman Sachs, Chevron, BP, and including Lockheed and Martin, and has been virtually silent on all major progressive policies, buying their way into the Progressive Caucus to avoid major opposition in the primaries. Now more than ever, we need a more true progressives in office that will help not only advance important legislation, such as Medicare for All and the Green New Deal, but to actively engage their constituents regarding these important policies. As an educator, I tell my students all the time, you can do better than a C. Now I am telling the voters of the 18th the same. We can do better than a C. We deserve better. I'm Charles Thompson, and I'm running to be the next representative of the 18th Congressional District of Texas. Thank you.